started. So I am showing you guys how to do a sugar wax at home today, and I'm going to walk you through the steps of how to do it. So if you're ready to learn how to sugar wax at home, please keep on watching. Okay guys, so these are the items that you will need. You'll need a pot. I like to use a whisk, and also going to use a spoon, measuring cups, half a cup, 1/4 cup, lemon, and sugar. So I usually see a lot of people use regular sugar. I just have this organic cane sugar, which this is kind of expensive, so you just want to use your regular sugar. That's totally fine as well. But this is what you'll need: water. But this are the items that you need. So I'm just getting my ingredients together. You're going to need a half a cup of sugar, and I'm just, shaking the cup, making sure that everything is level. But we are starting with that half a cup. And then we are going to need 1/4 cup of liquid. So you're going to need about 2 tablespoons of water and 2 tablespoons of lemon juice. I ended up using just a teaspoon measuring cup, so you need about 3 of those to make a tablespoon. And that's all the ingredients that you need. So I'm putting the sugar and the liquid into a pan, and I'm just mixing it up before I put it on the stove. And this next part is going to be very, very important. So I put the stove on about medium heat, and I just let it start to simmer. Once I start to see bubbles forming in the pot, I'm going to point some out here to you. I'm going to then just let it get to this boiling stage. Once it gets to the boiling stage and there are a bunch of bubbles in there, I'm going to start whisking this mixture. The point of whisking it is to keep it moving so that it doesn't burn. It's very important that this mixture does not burn. Pretty much this process is just helping to make a simple syrup, which is then going to harden into our wax. This process takes about 5 to 10 minutes. Honestly, it depends on the heat of your stove. I use medium heat just so that I can keep an eye on it and make sure that it does not burn. But the second that it starts to look golden, that's when you want to take it off the stove. I just take it off the stove. I don't even turn the eye off. I just completely take it off of the stove. So that is what it's going to look like, which then you can tell it looks just like a simple syrup. This next part is I just set it to the side. Some people will put the pot in water. You can do that if you like to just speed up the process, but I prefer to just let it harden its natural way. You keep mixing it so that it doesn't harden too fast. And it also cools it a lot faster for you. I decided when it was about, room temperature to move it into the pan. Into where I'm storing it. And I just did that. This next part is going to be pretty easy, but very important. We're going to need the wax. So pretty much I'm going to take a cup of water, and I'm just going to dampen my fingertips, and I'm going to take the wax and I'm going to knead it. So I'm just going to show you that process here. And kneading it pretty much is just taking it and pulling it apart and putting it back together. You're going to keep doing this over and over. As you can see, I'm dipping my hands into the water, 1, to make sure the wax does not burn me, and 2, to stop it from sticking to my hand. And you're going to keep doing this until the color is pretty opaque. And there we have our wax. I roll it into a ball, and that is how I store it. So now we're going to move on to actually applying the wax here. So as you can see, that is my bare leg. I'm just pointing out to where I really have a lot of hair. My hair kind of grows sparse in places, so that makes this process a little bit easier for me. So to figure out which way your hair grows, it's simply just to take your hand and rub your leg, and wherever you feel the most resistant from the hair, that means that's the opposite direction. So where the hair just goes smooth, that's how your hair grows. So in my case, my hair grows straight down. So I'm going to be applying the wax in the opposite direction. Here I'm just taking some baby powder, and I'm using that on my leg to make sure that it's completely dry and that there's no moisture so that the wax sticks. Now I'm applying the wax. Again, I mentioned that my hair grows straight down, so that is why I'm applying the wax upward. So when I go to pull the wax out, I'm going to pull it out in the direction that the hair grows, which is going to help reduce ingrown hairs, which is something that I am very prone to. So this step is very, very important to me. When you are pulling the wax out, you're going to flick it with your hand. So here I'm going to show you again. The room that I was working in was pretty warm, so that is making the wax hot. You want to make sure you're kind of in a cool place. My apartment hasn't turned on my air yet, so I had no choice but to just do it in my room with the window open. But here again, so we are going to spread that wax on the leg. You want to kind of make it like an even, thin layer. Again, my wax is doing this because of the heat that's in the room, so it's definitely recommended to do it in a cool area. But then flick the wrist, and that is going to pull the wax out for you. Make sure you're holding the skin taut. That's going to make this process a little bit easier for you as well. And if you're looking at the wax itself, you can see that it's turning colors. The reason it's turning colors is because not only is the wax pulling out the hair, but it's also pulling any dead skin off of it too. That is very, very important. And that's why sugar waxing is so good for you, because it also exfoliates your skin. To clean up, just take a wet rag and wipe your leg, and that is it. I like to moisturize with my lotion and oil, and that is the whole. Hey guys, so as you just saw the sugar waxing video, I did want to come on here and just talk to you guys a little bit about some things. In the video when I was doing the waxing, as you can see, it was kind of like rolling off of the skin a little bit. Again, the reason for that happening is because my apartment is kind of warm right now. My apartment complex hasn't turned on the air in our building, so I'm just using, windows and fresh air. So that is one reason. That's why it's very important to do that in a cool setting. Another reason your wax may do that, or if you feel like it's getting too mushy, is because there's moisture in your legs or moisture from your hands. So you can simply just put more powder in your legs or wherever you're waxing, or you can add in a new piece of sugar wax. I don't like to do that because I don't see the point in wasting the wax if I don't need to. If I can just simply add some powder to my legs or my arm, I'm going to do that. So cool temperature room, powder is your best friend. Another thing about that, it's very important that you are paying attention in the way that your hair grows. Like, that is very key, because you want to be pulling the wax out in the way that your hair grows so that it'll help reduce the chances of ingrown hair. Again, the movement is to spread it and flick. Spread it and flick your wrist and pull it out that way. So yeah, if you guys have any questions about sugar waxing, go ahead and leave the comments in the comment section, and I'll be sure to do whether it'll be here on YouTube or it'll be on my Instagram, where I will answer those questions. So make sure you follow me on Instagram. And I hope you guys enjoyed. We can thank quarantine for me learning a new skill. I don't think I'm gonna stop going to my sugar waxer once things goes up, because I don't feel comfortable like doing like my girly parts, but like far as legs, underarm, arms, those types of things I can now do at home, which is going to help reduce the price, because for me personally, getting a full body wax is over $150. So now it can just be a $70 price for me personally, for my girl to get my lady bits done. So let's thank quarantine for teaching me a new skill. If you guys do try this out, please be sure to tag me in it so that I see it. Also, if you want more in-depth videos on how to sugar wax, I will leave some in the description box below of how I learned how to do it. I learned from another girl here on YouTube, and she has some very in-depth videos, so I would leave those in the description box so you can check those out. I hope you guys enjoyed. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you guys in my next